It's a great day to be alive and an artist. My name is Matt with the Hat, and today we're going to continue our Artist's Way journey. Today, we're going to explore going sane. Now, as you have abundantly begun to realize, you've started this creative recovery. You have done your morning pages. Things have started to come out. You've realized that there have been people in your life that have caused you to be blocked. And things are starting to happen. Dreams are starting to be fulfilled. All of these things, you're starting to notice that cop in the head, that inner critic who keeps on speaking, right? And you started to use those affirmations to build your art. And you might notice, as the weeks go by, you might notice that you become a little erratic. You're trying things differently. You're going to places. I mentioned before that one of the things that my artist child started to do is paint furniture. I can tell you right now that what I expected from my partner was for him to go, "Oh my gosh, we've got so much color in the house." Instead, my partner went, "Wow, this is amazing. I had no idea that you could paint." Well, quite frankly, I had no idea I could either. And so one of the things that's real important as you're starting on this creative recovery, it's to realize that a lot of people in your life, they may not like it. Because just like it's scary for you to start to change things, it's scary for the people around you to start to see a change in you. They start seeing you go to an art gallery. They start seeing you having fun. They start seeing all these different things, and their first reaction is, what does this have to do about me? Not you personally. What does it have to do about your significant other? Right? Does this mean that if they start creating their art, if they start living their dreams, are they going to leave me? Right? And they start thinking all these weird things, but probably what they're really thinking is, like their own cop in the head starts getting in there. They are actually blocked artists themselves. And their cop in the head says, "Well, I don't like that," right? And they become a critic of all the beautiful and amazing work that you're doing. Remember, your artist is a child. Your artist likes to play. And one of the most important things for children is to feel safe. Probably the main motivation for me creating these videos is that I want there to be a safe space for you to create. So one of the things that's really important, and I mentioned this last time, is to find people in your life that you can trust, that you can go, "Hey, I'm starting this thing, and it's just in its embryonic stage. It's just beginning." And, I mentioned in one of my directing videos, there's no such thing as good writing, only rewriting and editing, right? And in that embryonic stage, you need people to support you. You need people to say, "I see where this is going. You have a lot going here. There's a lot of good ideas. What you don't need when you're first starting out is you don't need someone to say, well, that ain't no Shakespeare, right? You don't need someone to say, you're not good enough. It sounds like a bad band, blah, 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 blah. What you need is you need encouragers, right? And if you're not an artist and someone else is telling you about their artistic recovery and all of this, let me say this. The worst thing you can do is be a critic, right? Critics sit there and they bash and they trash and they look at other things with a judgmental eye, and yet they're not doing the work. So I want to encourage you to find other encouragers. The other thing that I want to say is sometimes those unsafe people are actually creatives that have become blocked themselves, that they have gotten in a rut. I've been that person, right? You're creating and you're making this great work, and at some point you don't realize that the work you're creating, while it's still good, it's become repetitive, or it's become the same style, and you haven't stretched yourself as an artist. And for those blocked creatives, right, the ones that have even had measures of success in the past, they can often be the worst critics to a aspiring artist, to someone who's just starting out. They can lack the encouragement that they need. I know I have. And be careful of these people, right? You got to protect your artist. You've got to protect yourself. Okay? And so that's, if you are the only encouragement that you are giving yourself, that's better than getting a bunch of criticism, right? If every day you show up and you say, you know what? Today I'm gonna write my morning pages. I'm going on my artist date. Today I'm gonna spend 5 minutes writing. I'm gonna spend 5 minutes working on a monologue. I am going to film myself. I'm gonna paint a little bit. I'm gonna spend 5 minutes. If you were doing that and the people around you were doing nothing, you're moving forward in your art. Okay? I also want to talk about that just a little bit more. I want to expound on it. Today was a long day for me. My day job was crazy busy today. And then afterwards, I have a wounded shoulder right now. And afterwards I had to go to the doctor. I was in the doctor's office for like an hour and a half, right? And then afterwards, I mentioned one of our cars got totaled recently, and we were dealing with issues with that. And sitting down here and doing this video today was very, very difficult. And part of this process is it's difficult. I don't want to do this today. And I still do. You'll hear it over and over again. In any part of life, what you feed is what will grow, right? If you feed just scrolling through videos, just getting a dopamine rush, you hear that a lot. Or you just consume art. You just see it. You just watch TV. You just watch Netflix. If that's all you're doing and you're not creating, your creative genius isn't going to grow. So don't just be a consumer. Spend some time feeding and nurturing your creative artist. And you don't have to show anyone anything. If you're creating a YouTube video, you don't have to show anyone anything. If you're making a payment or a painting, if you're making a painting, right? The only person who saw my initial paintings was my partner. And that was because I painted all of our furniture. Okay. But my partner didn't see my initial drawings that I did before I did my paintings, right? And this is important. It is very important to feel safe because you are creating art for you. And if it makes you feel good, someone else is going to appreciate what you're doing. My paintings are wild. They're psychedelic. They have shapes. They have different forms. They have all sorts of things. And you know what? It may not be to someone else's taste, but a lot of Renaissance painters who did these oils, and they're called it, like, I can't stand myself. The Mona Lisa, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know what the big deal is, right? But I see something abstract. I'm like, whoa, that moved me. So your art isn't for everyone, but there is an audience for your art, especially as you grow, especially as you move from beginner to intermediate to advanced to mastery. I want to tell a little story about a creative block that I had a long time ago. It was in my early 20s, something like that. And I directed a play. It was Shakespeare. And I had two really close friends who were also in the arts come to it. And I got to tell you, I worked so hard on this show. And I was getting rave reviews and all of this kind of stuff. And they came and they hated the show. And their critiques were quite stinging. And I got to tell you, I never invited them to another show again. I never wanted them to see my work because they were looking at my work from a critic's eye. And it wasn't a good way for me to feel that feedback. And it certainly wasn't a healthy way for them to express that feedback. So you got to protect yourself, and you got to protect yourself from those people. And you got to protect yourself also, which I've mentioned over and over again, from your own cop in the head that tries to tell you the same thing. Keep on keeping on. When it's hard, make art. When it's easy, make art. When you're happy, make art. When you're sad, make art. Continue. Consistency is key to mastery. I hope this video is helpful to you when you see it. I hope that you grow as an artist. I think you're amazing just sitting here and even attempting to think to try. Keep on keeping on. You are beautiful. I love you. Have a wonderful day.